Your brain has been hijacked, not by hackers, not by criminals, by corporations who have spent billions of dollars studying exactly how your mind works and engineering ways to exploit it. Every store you walk into, every app you open, every advertisement you see, they are all designed using psychological warfare tactics that bypass your logic and attack your impulses directly. You never stood a chance. The spending decisions you think you are making freely have been manufactured by teams of psychologists and behavioral scientists whose only job is separating you from your money. Today I'm exposing their playbook, 6 psychological traps they use against you every single day. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them, and they will never work on you again. Welcome to the war you did not know you were fighting. A war for your wallet, waged by some of the smartest minds on the planet, armed with decades of research into human behavior. These are not conspiracy theories. This is documented science applied strategically to separate you from every dollar possible. But knowledge is power. And by the end of this video, you will possess the same knowledge they use against you. You will see the traps before you step in them. You will recognize the manipulation before it takes hold. You will reclaim control over your spending decisions for the first time in your life. Smash that subscribe button and hit like right now because what you are about to learn is worth more than any finance course you could pay for. This is the information they do not want you to have. Let us dive into the first psychological trap that is draining your bank account without you even realizing it. The anchoring trap hijacks your perception of value before you even begin evaluating a purchase. Here's how it works. The first number you see becomes an anchor point that influences every judgment that follows. Your brain latches onto that initial figure and uses it as a reference even when it is completely irrelevant to actual value. Walk into any department store. That jacket has a tag showing the original price of $300 crossed out with a sale price of $120. Your brain immediately processes this as a $180 savings. What a deal! You feel smart. You feel lucky. You grab it without hesitation. But here is the manipulation. That jacket was never worth $300. It was manufactured to sell at $120. The inflated original price exists only to create an anchor that makes the real price feel like a steal. You did not save $180. You spent $120 on something you probably did not need, but the anchor made it feel irresponsible not to buy. Restaurants use this masterfully. They place an absurdly expensive item at the top of the menu, a $200 steak, a $150 seafood platter. Almost nobody orders these items. That is not their purpose. Their purpose is making the $60 entree below them feel reasonable by comparison. Without that anchor, you might question spending $60 on a single meal. With the anchor, you feel like you are being financially responsible by choosing the cheaper option. Real estate agents exploit anchoring constantly. They show you overpriced, terrible properties first, homes with obvious problems at inflated prices. Then they show you the house they actually want to sell you. Compared to the anchors, this property seems perfect and reasonably priced. You make an offer feeling confident. Meanwhile, the agent orchestrated your perception from the first showing. Defeating the anchoring trap requires conscious awareness. When you see any price, ask yourself what this item is actually worth to you, independent of any reference prices displayed. Ignore the original price. Ignore the comparison items. Evaluate the purchase purely on its own merits. Would you pay this amount if no anchor existed? If the answer is no, walk away regardless of how good the deal appears. The second psychological trap exploits something even more primal than your perception of value. It targets your fear. Scarcity and urgency manipulation creates artificial pressure that short-circuits your decision-making process entirely. When you believe something is scarce or an opportunity is fleeting, your brain shifts into survival mode. Rational evaluation gets bypassed. Impulse takes over. You act now and regret later. Limited time offer. Only 3 left in stock. Sale ends tonight. Flash deal expires in 2 hours. Exclusive access for the next 50 buyers only. These phrases are not informational. They are weapons designed to trigger panic buying. Amazon mastered this with their lightning deals. A countdown timer creates urgency. A progress bar showing claimed percentage creates scarcity. Only 12% left. The clock is ticking. Your heart rate increases. Your rational mind screams that you do not need another kitchen gadget, but your survival instincts override logic. What if you miss out? What if you never find this deal again? What if this is your only chance? You click buy now to make the anxiety stop. Airlines display this message constantly. Only 2 seats left at this price. Is that true? Sometimes, but often those 2 seats have been available at that price for weeks. The scarcity message exists to prevent you from comparison shopping, to make you book immediately before that imaginary person takes your seat. They are manufacturing urgency where none exists. Fashion brands engineer artificial scarcity through limited drops and exclusive releases. Supreme built an empire on this psychology. Announce limited quantities. Create lines around the block. Generate social media frenzy. The products themselves are often basic. A t-shirt, a hoodie. Nothing special about the materials or construction. But the manufactured scarcity creates perceived value that allows them to charge 10 times what the item would otherwise sell for. Recognize that true scarcity is rare in the modern economy. Almost everything can be restocked, ordered from another seller, or replaced with equivalent alternatives. The urgency you feel is manufactured. The scarcity is artificial. When you encounter these tactics, pause deliberately, leave the website, exit the store, wait 24 hours. If the opportunity disappears, it was not meant for you. If it remains, the urgency was fake, and you can now evaluate clearly. The third trap is perhaps the most insidious because it feels like saving money when it is actually costing you money. The free trap exploits your irrational love for anything labeled free. The word free triggers a neurological response unlike any other price point. Studies show that people make completely different decisions when the price is zero compared to even 1 cent. Free is not just a low price. It occupies a special category in your brain that overrides normal cost-benefit analysis. Buy one, get one free. Spend $100 and get free shipping. Free gift with purchase. Free 30-day trial. These offers are not generosity. They are strategic manipulation designed to increase your total spending while making you feel like a winner. You were not planning to buy 2 pizzas. But buy one, get one free makes you order 2 and feel smart about it. You just spent money you are not going to spend. But your brain classified this as a win because the word free was involved. You browse a website with a $50 item in your cart. Shipping is $12. That feels wrong. But wait, free shipping on orders over $100. So you add another $55 of stuff you did not need to eliminate that $12 shipping charge. You just spent $43 extra to save $12 on shipping. The math makes no sense, but free broke your brain. Free trials exploit the endowment effect, which we will discuss later. They know that once you have something, you value it more than before you had it. That free month of streaming or software becomes yours. Canceling feels like losing something you already possess, so you forget to cancel or convince yourself you actually want it. That free trial converts to a paid subscription at rates that make the free period incredibly profitable for the company. Defeating the free trap requires treating free as a warning sign rather than a celebration. When you encounter anything free, ask what this is actually costing you. In money, in attention, in future commitment. Free is never free. You are always paying with something. Make sure you are willing to pay that actual price before accepting any free offer. The fourth psychological trap hijacks your relationship with your future self in a way that sabotages your financial well-being. Present bias makes you dramatically overvalue immediate rewards while discounting future consequences. Your brain evolved to prioritize present moment survival. Eating food now mattered more than food available next week. Escaping danger now mattered more than potential danger later. This wiring made perfect sense for survival, but it devastates modern financial decisions. Buy now, pay later has exploded in popularity because companies understand present bias perfectly. Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. These services let you have the item immediately while pushing payment into a future that feels abstract and unreal. Your present self gets the dopamine hit of the purchase. Your future self deals with the bills. But your present self is making the decision, and your present self does not care much about that future person. Credit cards work identically. The swipe is painless, the purchase is immediate. The statement arrives later when the excitement has faded. Studies show people spend dramatically more with credit cards than cash. The physical pain of handing over paper money is absent. The abstract future payment does not trigger the same loss aversion as watching bills leave your hand. Subscription services exploit present bias through free trials and low introductory rates. The present cost is tiny or zero. The future costs compound invisibly. Nobody signs up for Netflix thinking about the $2,000 they will spend over 10 years of subscription. They think about the immediate entertainment value versus the immediate monthly cost. The long-term math stays invisible. Retailers understand that present bias increases when your willpower is depleted. This is why candy and impulse items sit at the checkout counter. After making decisions throughout your shopping trip, your mental energy is drained. Your present bias is maximized. That candy bar or magazine or gadget gets tossed in without the resistance your well-rested brain would provide. Combat present bias by making your future self real and vivid in your mind before any purchase. Visualize yourself paying the credit card statement next month. Imagine yourself checking your bank account after the subscription charges compound for years. Feel the weight of that financial obligation as if it exists right now. When you bridge the psychological gap between present and future, the trap loses its power. The fifth trap exploits something you already possess in a way that makes you irrational about new purchases. The endowment effect causes you to overvalue things simply because you own them. Once something becomes yours, it feels more valuable than it actually is. This cognitive bias evolved because protecting resources you already have was essential for survival. But marketers have weaponized it against your wallet. Free trials exploit the endowment effect brilliantly. That streaming service or software becomes yours for 30 days. You customize it. You integrate it into your routines. It becomes part of your life. When the trial ends, canceling feels like losing something that belongs to you. The psychological pain of loss is greater than the pleasure of the original gain, so you keep it even when the rational decision would be canceling. Car dealerships use test drives for this exact reason. Once you sit in that driver's seat, the car starts feeling like yours. You adjust the mirrors, you connect your phone, you imagine driving it home. By the time the test drive ends, you have mentally taken ownership. Walking away feels like giving something up. The salesperson knows this. They encourage long test drives. They want you bonded to that car before discussing price. 30-day return policies seem customer-friendly, but they serve the endowment effect. The retailer knows that once you take that item home and live with it for a few days, you will not return it. It has become yours. The effort of returning it, plus the psychological pain of giving up something you possess, makes keeping it feel easier even if you do not really want it. The solution is recognizing that ownership changes nothing about an item's actual value to your life. Before any purchase, ask if you would buy this item at this price if you did not currently possess it. Apply this question to your existing possessions too. The shirt you never wear, the gadget collecting dust, the subscription you rarely use. Would you buy these today? If not, the endowment effect is the only reason you are keeping them. The sixth and final psychological trap exploits your social nature in ways you rarely recognize. Social proof manipulation turns your evolutionary need for belonging into a spending trigger. Humans survived through cooperation and community. Those who followed group behavior survived. Those who deviated often did not. This wiring makes you instinctively look to others when making decisions. Marketers have weaponized this instinct into one of the most powerful selling tools ever created. Bestseller labels trigger immediate credibility. If thousands of others bought this, it must be good. Your brain accepts this as proof of value without examining the actual product. The label itself becomes the reason to buy. Publishers have admitted to buying their own books to achieve bestseller status simply because the label drives more sales than any amount of advertising. Review counts matter more than review content. A product with 4,000 reviews feels safer than a product with 40 reviews, even if the smaller number has higher average ratings. Your brain interprets volume of social proof as safety. Fake reviews have become an industry worth billions because companies understand how powerfully they influence your purchasing decisions. Influencer marketing exploits parasocial relationships. You feel like you know these people. You trust them like friends. when they recommend products that trust transfers. But they are being paid to recommend. The authenticity you perceive is manufactured. Their lifestyle is aspirational, not realistic. Yet their endorsement triggers buying impulses because your brain processes them as trusted community members. Phrases like most popular choice and what others are buying appear constantly online. Amazon shows you what other customers purchase together. Restaurants highlight signature dishes. He paid his. Autais display occupancy rates. All of this exists to trigger your social proof instincts. If others are doing it, you should too. Escape social proof manipulation by asking whether you would want this product if nobody else on earth had ever bought it. Ignore reviews and bestseller labels initially. Evaluate the actual item and its value to your specific life. Popular does not mean right for you. Bestseller does not mean best choice. Other people's decisions are irrelevant to your unique circumstances and needs. These 6 psychological traps have been stealing from you your entire life. Anchoring distorted your perception of value. Scarcity and urgency manufactured fake pressure. Free made you spend more while feeling like a winner. Present bias disconnected you from future consequences. The endowment effect made you irrational about ownership. Social proof replaced your judgment with crowd following. But now you see the traps clearly. Now you recognize the manipulation before it takes hold. Now you have the power to make spending decisions based on your actual needs and values rather than psychological exploitation. This knowledge is worth thousands of dollars annually if you apply it consistently. Every manipulated purchase you avoid is money that stays in your pocket. Money that can be invested. Money that builds your future instead of corporate profits. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone you care about because they are being manipulated too and they deserve to know. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because I expose the systems designed to keep you broke and teach you how to beat them. Drop a comment telling me which psychological trap has gotten you the worst. They spent billions learning how to hijack your brain. You just learned how to take it back for free. Now go protect your money. I will see you in the next one.